Americans are having a huge problem right now with credit card debt. The numbers show that Americans have accumulated over $1.3 trillion in terms of credit card debt alone. And the average interest rate on this credit card debt is nearly 26% annually. This is a huge issue because with a balance like this, 60% of Americans say they'll never pay off the balance anytime soon, with 20% of Americans saying they'll never pay off that credit card debt, period. This is such a huge problem that this is the reason why the current Trump administration is trying to put a cap on the interest rate at 10%. Frankly, while I think this is a good move, I think it doesn't solve the ultimate problem, because what these credit card companies are going to do is they're just going to take a lot of people off credit cards. I think this is a more nuanced problem with multitude of factors. For instance, I think one of the factors is there are people out there with super low financial literacy rate, and they end up spending way more money over than what they earn. So they end up taking a big credit card balance just in order to afford the lifestyle that they shouldn't have. I think another big factor is these days with the increasing cost of living in everything like their rent, utilities, and grocery prices, some Americans just don't make enough to pay these bills, so they have to end up getting in credit card debt just in order to live and survive. But what happens to them is they end up accumulating and snowballing that debt, and they'll never pay it back because the interest rate on it is so high. And for some of these people, if you take away their credit cards, it's hard to imagine how some of them could even survive. The credit card debt problem is a huge problem that's super complicated at the same time.
Last year, I racked up $35,000 in credit card debt by going on a lot of trips that I didn't have the money to go on. Now, if you're doing the same thing, this is not a call out, this is a call in. Like, we're gonna come together. My best advice is if you really want to go on this trip, you need to save, you need to go on side hustles, and you need to not buy the most expensive airplane ride or the best hotel or do all of the excursions. You need to get comfortable saying no to some things, which is something I struggle with, okay? Now, we've been able to pay off most of that credit card debt. We're at $7,500, but it's literally taken us 6 months and most of our money to pay the $27,000 we have. Future you is going to have some beef with present you. So let's try to minimize the damage for the future.
I have a month and a half to pay off the remaining amount of my credit card debt before the end of the year, so let's make a payment to my credit card together. The deposit that I received today was for some commission that I was owed for $31 even, so let's take a look at my credit card. As you can see here, my starting balance is $7,359.75, and if you keep up with these updates, then you're probably like, wait a second, why is that not an even number? Interest was charged. Now, typically, I would take that $31 and I would round it up to the next $10 amount and make a payment for $40 even. However, because this is uneven and I cannot stand that, we are actually going to round it up to $39.75. That way we can get this back to an even number. As you can see here, the payment has been made, and once this payment processes, we will be down to $7,320. Thank goodness the interest is only charged once a month, because not only do I get annoyed when I log in and I see that it's an uneven number, but also I feel like we take 4 steps back every time it is charged, but it's back to an even number now. We will get it down to where it was, hopefully in the next few days. And just in case no one's told you today, I love you so much.
I owe $30,000 worth of credit card debt at 24 years old. This is my credit card debt breakdown. I currently have 5 different credit card accounts that I need to pay off. The first one, which is the least amount of debt that I owe, would be my Freedom Unlimited card, in which I owe $1,649.99. My Capital One card, I owe $4,388.83. On my Best Buy account, I owe $6,210. On my Chase credit card, I owe $6,856. Last but not least, Discover. This is the one that I owe the most on, and it is $10,952. That brings me to a total of $30,057.68. I've looked into filing for bankruptcy, but I don't think that that's the best route for me at this time. I think that I won't qualify for Chapter 7, and I also don't think that Chapter 13 would be the best option either. There's no other option for me other than just finding other ways to make money and paying this off as soon as possible. I'm turning 25 soon, and my goal is to become debt-free and just be more smart with my money. Honestly, just never get myself back into this position.
If any of you guys have been in like pretty intense credit card debt before and you have gotten yourselves out of it, please send all the tips and tricks my way, because my husband is home today because I am not feeling very good. So he's playing stay-at-home dad while I get to rest. But we just decided to sit down and look at our finances. This is the first time we've had like extra money where we can actually look at these numbers and just like get real with where we're at and discuss like starting the process of getting out of this situation. I'm gonna share the numbers with you guys because you know that I keep it 100 on here even if it's embarrassing. We just like literally were ignoring these numbers for so long because we were not in a position to even attempt paying them back, but now we are, and let's just talk about it. Over the span of 5 that was my toddler. Over the course of 5 credit cards we have accumulated over the last 6 years, well maybe 7 years, roughly $15,000 in credit card debt. Our plan is to apply for some zero interest credit cards and transfer some of the debt so that we can get working on paying so we can work on paying these things back without having interest accumulating, because then I feel like you're just in a cycle of never being able to pay these things back. Holy cow, my toddler's loud. Once we're able to transfer some of this debt over to the 0% interest cards, we also want to get a good card for... Honey, are you yelling? We also want to find a good card for actually using for like groceries and gas and stuff and just everything, and actually using them the way that you're supposed to. I don't think I'll ever fully understand why they don't teach financial literacy in school. I mean, probably just to keep Americans broke and in debt and paying the people with all the money. So I know that I feel really alone when it comes to having so much debt and like so much financial stress on me, but I know so many of us are dealing with this exact same thing, and I feel like if we can just kind of vibe together and pay off this debt together, I feel like it'll be a fun journey. Please comment any tips, tricks, your favorite credit cards to get for zero interest, your favorite credit card for like good rewards, good points, all that stuff, and also just any financial literacy tips that you feel like have helped you to take control of your finances. I would love to hear them. But anyway, that's it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Be honest, it's 2026, y'all. What is the main reason why a lot of people's in credit card debt? Do you think it's because they're not taught about it, or do you think they don't just care about what they have and how to leverage it? They just want to go use it for shopping and partying. Let me know and drop it down below in the comments.
I'm drowning in credit card debt, and I don't know what to do. If you're seeing this video, you probably are also drowning in credit card debt, and I wish I knew how to help you, but I don't, because I don't even know what to do for me. So here's the story. I'm 30. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 2, and I have something called cystic fibrosis. And back in November of last year, I left my career, and I had been a working person ever since I could get a permit because my health was deteriorating, and my husband and I decided it was more important that I stay home with the kids and stop trying to work at the same time and consider my health first, because obviously, if you know what CF is, it already shortens my life expectancy, and my kids deserve for me to be here as long as possible. So we did that, and everything was okay because my husband worked really hard and he figured out a way to bridge the gap between the 2 incomes, and it was good until it wasn't. And then we started putting stuff on credit cards, and we couldn't pay those credit cards off like we were used to. And then a couple months ago, we regrouped, we figured some stuff out, and we found some extra money. We did some extra things to make some extra money, and we started putting that towards the debt. But then our escrow went up. It was severely deficient, so our mortgage payment went up by $400 a month and took all of that extra money that we had found. And now I don't have the opportunity to go work. I don't have the opportunity, because of my health, to do anything else other than just take care of my kids and myself right now. And come next year, my husband's gonna try to do more stuff on the side from his actual career to make money, but I am monetized on this app, so this can be a job for me, and I can try to make money off of views on here. So if you relate to me, you can just watch these videos. I get qualified views, and then I'll make a couple cents, and I can make micropayments onto my credit card with that money to help out my husband, because he's already working really hard. And I think that's it. The question that I want to ask you is, did you grow up with parents in debt? I did. I'm curious if you're in debt. Were your parents also in debt? And I'll see you in my next one.
How the heck does somebody run up credit card in the amount of $55,000? If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and we are sharing our journey to pay off over $55,000 worth of credit card debt that my husband didn't know anything about until February. Now, since February, we have been able to pay off over $27,000. So if you aren't following along, go ahead and hit that follow button. So the majority of it came from really two different things. Online gambling was a really big part of it. And then the other was just like impulsive shopping. I would be on TikTok, doom scrolling, and I would see the next influencer, had something cool, or the new, makeup or a beauty product or a household item or just something, and I had to have it, so I would purchase it. A lot of times I would use money that was supposed to go on bills for online gambling. And then, of course, when I didn't win, then I would have to use credit cards to pay the bills. And so that was just a very, very toxic cycle. And it wasn't until I told him in February that I started working on me and the things that were causing me to do that. And like I said, we have been able to pay off over $27,000 so far, and I have not done any online gambling. I have not done any impulse shopping, nothing like that. I totally did a 180, and sharing this journey with you guys and your support, even though some people can be very harsh, your support has really helped me, and I love coming on here. I love sharing, tips and tricks that we are learning along this journey. And I just want to be a positive influence for someone, because I know that there's people out there like me, and I just want you to know that you're not alone.
I owe $30,000 worth of credit card debt at the age of 24. I posted a video 2 days ago breaking down each debt that I have from smallest to biggest. Discover is my biggest credit card debt. I owe $10,950 on it. Today I called to ask for a financial hardship program, and they did offer two different programs. One of the programs is a 6-month term, and the other is a 1-year term. If I choose the 6-month term, I will have a minimum payment of $165 for the next 6 months. I currently have a minimum payment on that card for $333. The interest rate that I have on it is 30%. The interest rate they are offering with that 6-month plan is 9.99%. With the 1-year program, my minimum payment will stay the same at $300 and something every month, with the interest rate being lowered to 16.99. Both of them will help out, but I do think that the 6-month program would maybe be my best option. That way I have a little more money to put towards my smallest debt, since I am doing the snowball method to pay off all my credit card debt. After the 6 months is over, they will review my account and determine if they can go ahead and reopen it, or if they need to close it. That's what worries me the most, but I'm staying hopeful, because they are saying that as long as I keep up with payments throughout the 6 months, that I should be okay to get my account reopened.
14. That is the number of credit cards I had maxed out. Over $40K in debt. 7 years ago, I had gone through a nasty divorce. I was a single mom, and the bills never stopped coming. So I just kept swiping. Groceries, gas, school clothes, survival. So one day, I was staring at my bank account, and I realized I was gonna have to pay my rent, or I was gonna have to pay my credit card minimums. So I stopped paying. And that's when the phone call started. Every single ring, my stomach sank. And I'm not just talking about 1 to 2 calls a day. I'm talking about hundreds of calls a day from different creditors, different numbers, same shame, same fear. I met my husband during that time, and I remember dreading the moment that I had to tell him, hey, by the way, I come with $40K worth of debt. The words burned coming out of my mouth. This shame was so heavy. If I had found the opportunity that I have now back then, it would have saved me years of heartache and anxiety, because now I know a better way. I've learned to create income from my phone. I'm having 400 plus days just by sharing my story and creating content. If you've been staring at bills, wondering which one's gonna have to wait, if the weight of debt feels like it's crushing you, I promise there is another way. Comment me and I'll show you how to start earning from your phone so you can pay off debt faster. You can breathe easier. You never have to live that 14 card reality again.
For the first time in 3 years, I am officially credit card debt free. Let's talk about it. It feels so good to say that. If you've been following along, you know that I gave birth to twins at 23 weeks gestation in 2022. which led to my son passing away and my daughter Millie becoming disabled. She is now diagnosed with cerebral palsy, and this changed our entire life. Life looks different now than I ever anticipated that it would, and that's okay. But unfortunately, what came with that was debt. During this time, we took on a ton of medical debt and we drained our entire savings account to pay it off. My daughter was in the NICU for 125 days fighting to survive, and the NICU was about an hour away. We were not able to stay the night there, so we went every morning and every afternoon, and this added up really quickly. Driving back and forth every day, paying money for gas, eating out because we were on the go. I cannot tell you how many phone calls we had where we were called and said, get here now, we don't think she's gonna make it past another hour or two. The emotional trauma that it took, I mean, it's really hard to get those phone calls and then come home and cook dinner for your family. And not to mention the amount of specialized medical equipment that she needed once she came home. We were very lucky that she was only on oxygen for a short amount of time, but you would be shocked at the things that are necessary for a child that is very medically fragile, that is on oxygen, that cannot support their body weight to sit up. I mean, it added up very quickly. All of this led to us using our credit cards to survive, and we just kind of told ourselves, right now we're in survival mode and we'll deal with that later. And this year we decided now is the time to deal with it. We do not want to be in credit card debt anymore. As of today though, my credit card debt, which was $7,700, is officially paid off. I have no more credit card debt, and I am so happy to say that. So I'm sure you're wondering, how did you go from that large amount of credit card debt to being paid off whenever I've been doing a series of vlogging every day until I paid off my credit card debt? If I had the money in savings to pay it off, why would I not have just paid it off? And that's because I didn't have the money in savings. I know a lot of people probably aren't going to agree with this, but I cashed in one of my retirement accounts, an IRA, to wipe out all of the credit card debt in one swoop. I'm 30 years old, so I definitely still have time to plan for retirement, but it was a very sick feeling to cash in my IRA that I've worked really hard to build over the last few years. But it was also a really sick feeling to spend thousands of dollars every month sending money to my credit card, feeling like we were never going to get ahead, feeling like every single payment that I made was a reminder of this terrible tragedy. The reality is I didn't accrue a bunch of credit card debt because I was out here buying all these fun things or doing amazing fun adventures. I was sitting beside my daughter while she survived. I was surviving. I just felt like I couldn't spend another year of my life paying off debt that reminded me of that tragedy and that horrible time and not getting ahead. And so last week I really kind of started thinking about, should I cash in my IRA? Do I want to cash in my IRA? And I obviously didn't want to, but I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I made that choice and that we can move forward on our other goals now that that is done. I really went back and forth on it, but in this moment, I don't regret my decision, and I'm super glad that I did it. Maybe I'll feel differently in the future, but in this moment, I don't regret that I did it. Our life mission now is to pay off all of our debt. We're gonna keep going. All we have left is vehicles, things like that. We own our house outright, thank goodness. Our ultimate goal is to build a handicap accessible home for our daughter. My daughter does use a wheelchair to navigate life, and our home is not handicap accessible in any way, shape, or form. Lots of the rooms have step ups or step downs to get in them. Our home is almost 110 years old. We bought it outright for $15,000 in cash. Honestly, just shortly after my son passed away and my daughter was born. It was a very lucky thing for us. But we know that this cannot be a forever home. She cannot be successful here. We cannot navigate her wheelchair into our restroom to even begin to potty train her. Posting on social media has helped me stay accountable to my goals, and I promise you, this is not the end. This is only the beginning. Now that my credit card is paid off, I have so many big goals, and 2026 is the year that I am crushing them. Now that I'm not paying thousands of dollars towards credit cards each month, I can actually get some forward momentum on other things so that we can look at making a plan to actually build our handicap accessible home for her. Several of you watching this have been here from the beginning of me starting to post, of me being very vulnerable and sharing what I was dealing with my credit card debt. I was so nervous for so long to say the actual number. You guys have been so kind and encouraging, and I promise you this is not the end. I'm so glad to say that my credit card debt is paid off, but keep watching because there's more to come. Thank you so much for being here and holding me accountable, because I don't know that I would have made this decision without the encouragement of others. One day you're gonna watch me filming videos from a handicap accessible home, I promise.
Okay, this is your reminder that if you are in credit card debt, go make a payment for $1. Okay, actually the credit cards usually make you make a payment of $5, but $5. Like, you can go and make a payment to your credit card today instead of getting a coffee or getting a soda or whatever your vice is. I think it's important to say that, like, if you can't put $3,000 towards your credit card debt, that's okay. Like, even if you can only put $2, $3, $4, $5, that adds up. And I just made a payment to my credit card for $20 because that's really all I have, like, extra right now is $20. But $20 is now on my credit card instead of sitting in my account for me to go to McDonald's or get a coffee or go out with a friend or whatever it is. Like, just remind yourself that if you're moving in the right direction, it doesn't matter how slow you're going to get there. And I think I have been in my own head about that because I wanted to be credit card debt free at the end of this year. And honestly, that's not going to happen. And that's okay. That is okay, because right now, either way, I am making the right steps to go forward and be different. Like, not spend all my money and not have $0 in my bank account and not max out my credit cards. And all you have to do is want to be different and try your best to get there. So if you're struggling in your debt payoff, or you're in credit card debt right now and you're thinking you're struggling, you're drowning, there's nothing that you can do, go ahead and make a $5 payment and you will feel better.
Do you want to know the scariest thing when people consolidate their debt? And hi, my name is Beth. I went from flat broke to financially free turned credit counselor, and now I help people improve their credit after a bankruptcy. So here it is. So the scariest thing when you are going to consolidate your debt, your credit card debt, say within a home equity loan or with some type of loan. And some of you know what I'm going to say. Some of you know exactly what I'm going to say. It's this. If you are going to consolidate your debt, your credit card debt, pay them off through a loan, it is very important to freeze those cards or to put them away temporarily. Because what I've seen year after year after year, and girl, I've been doing this since 2008. I've seen this through a lot of economies. Time after time is they use those credit cards again. They max out all of those credit cards again. And now they're in a worse position than what they were before. Now they definitely cannot save more money. So if you're thinking about consolidating your credit cards into a home equity loan or a loan of some kind, just be very, very, very careful. Put some money management into place where you can save money. Go through your budget with a fine-tooth comb. All of your everyday spending, go ahead and set allotted amounts so you don't go over. Be very obsessed with your money management. If you're losing sleep now, you're going to lose more sleep if you keep using them. Obviously, someone who loves to talk about improving your credit to say, go ahead and keep those cards open. But if you have a hard time not using them, then that's going to put you in a position that you don't want to be in. So this is just coming from someone who's seen it time and time and time again. So if you're going to consolidate your credit card debt into a loan or a home equity loan, be strategic and be consistent.
I personally think if you have a credit card debt problem right now, like if you have a big balance, like a few thousand, don't ignore that. I know it's human instinct to not want to look at that because that stresses people out. I get that. But it's like what this person said, it's way better to face and try to solve this problem as early as possible than just letting it accumulate. The fact of the matter is, if you got a big balance in your credit card and you never look at it, the interest rate alone on it's going to eat you alive. For instance, if you have $10,000 in credit card balance and your interest rate is 30%, that would mean if you never look at it in a year's time, you would owe $13,000. And remember this point, which is super important, a lot of people don't get. This is a compounding effect, which means that if you owe $13,000 next year, it won't be $16,000. No, it'll be like $16,500. So every year, you're just owing more and more money that you're never going to pay back. So you have to address this problem as quickly as possible. Otherwise, if you don't look at it for a couple years, it could really bankrupt you.